Hey everyone, today I'm going to be doing a book review of The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. The Picture of Dorian Gray is a very well-known classic by a very well-known author, Oscar Wilde, who is an Irishman from the mid-19th century, I believe. And indeed, that is when the book was set, in the 19th century Victorian England. The plotline is fairly simple as such. It's all about an artist called Basil who meets a young man, the Dorian Gray of the total, and becomes friends with him. And he uses him as his muse and paints him over the course of many months, and introduces him to a friend of his called Lord Henry. Now, Lord Henry is a man in his 40s, you get the impression, and he's not a very nice person overall, really. He's all about the immediate pleasures of life, and he's very selfish and vain, which of course is appropriate to the book. And quite simply, Basil paints a picture of Dorian, and he puts so much of himself in this painting, he does it so well, that something happens, you're not sure what, and it's Dorian's soul or his spirit or whatever you want to call it is essentially sort of within this painting, so he doesn't age anymore. His painting ages instead of him aging. Now, the characters and the character development I thought were quite interesting. At start, Dorian is a very young man. He's about 20, 21, and he's meant to be innocent, and then he gets corrupted by Lord Henry. But this is actually one of the things that I found to be a slight drawback of the book, is that Dorian is actually too innocent and he's too naive. Especially around that time, you wouldn't have thought anybody would get to that age and be so naive about life and the world. Basil's character is developed well. He's all about the art, and he's a very creative person, and he tries to be the moderating influence on Dorian, and indeed he does do a fairly good job of this, although obviously it becomes harder throughout the book, of course, for reasons I'm not going to go into. And Lord Henry is the opposite. As I've said, he's all about being selfish and about doing things that only benefit one person, yourself. That's the only person he's bothered about. And indeed, he's the negative influence on Dorian, and that is very obvious from the very start of the book. And obviously that gets progressively worse as the story continues. Lord Henry's character is actually one that I also had a slight problem with. He's almost overly selfish and too vain, so it didn't quite work for me. But again, it's still good, just slight issue with his character, I thought. Now, the world itself is of course Victorian London, 19th century, and it doesn't need to be that well explained, and indeed it isn't in the book. It's not about the location, it's about the characters and their effect on one another. The underlying theme is all about the pitfalls of vanity and selfishness, essentially. It's the corruption of a innocent character into somebody who doesn't see the bad things that are going on anymore. He goes from being innocent to the very, very opposite of that. So, in summary, a really good book. I get 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, which is still a good mark. And the ideas in it are good. The characters are really well developed, if a little bit overly stereotypical, although considering the amount of things that have been based on Dorian Gray, that's kind of to be expected, to be honest. And I would recommend this to anybody who likes classics, of course, and who just wants to see where certain ideas in modern films and books get their inspiration from. So, that's it for my review. If I've missed anything, please let me know in the comments below. I may well have. All my links, including my social media links like Twitter and Goodreads, will be in the description box below, of course. And that's pretty much it for this video. So, thanks for watching, and goodbye. I'll see you another day.